Hi, fellow traders. What's happening? I hope you guys are having a great weekend. I know I am. My Gamecocks won early yesterday. So, it's been uphill ever since. And not looking for it to slow down and just carry me into this Monday morning. And we can start our week strong and just keep rolling from there. So, what's the 1% Club? Now, you guys that have been with me for a while, I talk about E.T. or Eric Thomas or E.T. the hip hop preacher, however you know him. But he's like the number one motivational speaker in the world. And I started listening and following him back when I was teaching and I was just starting this journey. And he helped me mentally and to develop the right mindset to be successful. And last year he started talking about the 1% Club. And he started talking about the top 1% of people in the United States in terms of net worth. The top 1% people in the United States based on their net worth. And he's like, I want to be there. He's probably there already, but he wanted to know what do these guys do? What did they do? But why are they at the 1%? Because not all of them were born with money. Some of them started from scratch. I look at the guy that owns Virgin Records or that started Virgin Records. He owns a whole lot of the stuff now. But I read his story a long time ago, and I'm like, this was me in school too. I think he had dyslexia. They kind of told him, look, the best thing for you to do is go to a vocational school, learn a vocation and all of that stuff. And I know he's not a U.S. citizen, but he would be in the top 1%. But there are people, I look at Steve Jobs. He started with nothing. Look at where he was. Unfortunately, he passed away young. But what did these people, he wanted to know what did these people have that got them to the top 1%. And just to give you an idea, the top 1% in 2020 has a household net worth of like $11,100,000. All right, that's if you have a net worth of $11,100,000, you're in the top 1%. If you think about it, it doesn't really seem like that big of a number just to get in the top 1%. Now I know you got billionaires that they're very elite. But we're talking about the top 1%. What does it take to get there? And when I look at the numbers, I'm like, man, this is very attainable. So what's it gonna take? And yeah, you could start like now. The younger you are, yeah, the more time you have to work to get there. But that age shouldn't have any bearing on that either. Everybody can achieve their dreams. All they need, their goals, you just have to know how to get there. It's just like with my roadmap to success program. It's a roadmap. It's my roadmap that got me to where I am. But I'm not anywhere near the 1% Club. But I have a roadmap to get me there. I know what it's going to take, and I'm putting in that work to get there. And that's really what I want to share with you guys. Now, the reason why this came up was that somebody was asking me questions about the community. I have that option on the website where you got questions about the community, me, or whatever, you could set up an appointment. That's what he did. And it turned out to be almost like an interview. And he asked me, how many students I've taught or worked with in the years that I've been doing this. And out of all those students, how many are actually making a living day trading or just trading in general? How many are just consistently profitable and they're trying to get there? So it took some time for me to go back and figure it out. And ironically, what I found out is there was 1% of all of the students I've worked with that are actually making a living trading, meaning this is all that they're doing. Now, yeah, they have supplemental income. Most of them are doing it real estate on the side, but their primary income comes from trading. Now, there was like 7.8% of those who are consistently profitable, and they're using their trading as supplemental income. They love their job. They never want to trade, change, or they have their own business, and this is just a secondary income source for them. They're consistently profitable, and they're going from there. And then there's about, I think it was 5.8% that were kind of break-even trading right now. They're at that stage where they're starting to break even, and they haven't made the transformation to being consistently profitable. It's like they'll make profits and then they'll make a big mistake and give it all back. That type of deal. So I thought it was interesting that 1% kind of goes, it correlated with trading. And those that start learning how to trade and getting into trading, that only 1% actually end up making a living at it. And you've got, the other 8 or 9% out of those that are profitable trading, they're not really making a living, or this isn't their primary source. So I thought that was really, really interesting. And it's something that I never really thought about. But the question became then, what separates this 1% from everybody else? And I'm not counting the ones who are profitable that just do this to supplement their income. I'm talking about those that are trying to get to this point. What do these 1%ers do? And so I sat down and I started making a list, and I sent emails out to some of these guys and got some feedback as to their processes and everything. And it all pretty much lined up with everything that I taught. And so what I'm going to do going forward is in our our weekly Wednesday webinars, the Roadmap to Success webinars that we do, I'm going to be focusing on the process, the things that these guys do, the things that I focus on again, and kind of give you a new perspective as to what it's going to take to get to this top 1%, to where, if you're striving to trade for a living, then these are the things that you're going to have to do. Now, one thing that E.T. said, and I went to his conference last year, and I was looking forward to going to again this year, but he flat looked us in the eye and told us, he's like, everybody has the opportunity to get there, but most of you are too lazy to do what it takes to get there. You're gonna want to look for shortcuts. You're gonna want to look for the easy way out. And he said it just doesn't work. It does not work. And if that's the way you are, he's like, don't waste your time. But if you're willing to come in, focus, and put in that 120% and do what you need to do to get there, you're going to make it. And this guy was homeless back when he was in high school and all of that. And he'll tell you his story. But for him to get there to where he is now, and I'm pretty sure he's in the top 1% in this country, it was a phenomenal work ethic. And he lays out the plan, in general. But I'm going to focus everything on trading and what it takes to get there. So that's where we're going to be going. I'm going to be adding this element. The swing trading element, everybody's loving it. And that's only going to get better. The emails I send, the tweets I send out, every day, every morning, you get the plan laid out. So you don't even have to follow me. You execute the plan I give you, and you got it. But everybody loves the emails. I'm going to keep those up again. As earnings season kicks off, you're going to get a little bit more. It's going to offer more opportunity. But I'm saying this because somebody sent me an email today. Once your membership expires, your access to the private Twitter feed expires. So if your membership is expired, don't worry about emailing me saying you're not getting the emails, because you're going to get, it's only for those members. I put in a lot of time and a lot of effort, and I don't charge you any more for it. So the only thing I ask is, I'm going to uphold the integrity of my work. And so, if you're a member, you get it. There's no cost to it. No matter how much work I put into it, I'll never, ever charge any more money for anything. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm putting my time where my mouth is. And I'm giving you everything, that I can to help you be successful. That's my goal. I think that's the goal of a true teacher. So enough of that. We look at last week. Pretty much, we closed right where we closed Friday, right where we closed last Friday. Okay, we closed last Friday right here at 346.85. I think we closed. This is where it was when I took the picture, but I think we closed at 347.29 or something like that. So we're talking about 44 cents difference, which is about 1.9% gain in the S&P last week. That's all we gained. No, I'm sorry. 0.19%. So right at 2.2% is what we gained, which is basically nothing. So we went up, we gapped up and made that run Monday. Everything looked good, like we were about to chase the all-time highs. Then we got the pullback right here to the 10. We bounced. It looked like we were going to make a move Friday, but we ended up pulling back in. But we held the 5-day. So we're going to see where we go Monday. But there's a lot of things affecting the market. The three things that we talked about in our session this morning, and I've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks. The two that's really that's been affecting the market was policy and politics. Those are the things that are kind of moving the market around. Now we've got earnings coming in. So for the next month or so, earnings is going to be a factor in it. Now, we lost about 38% in corporate earnings in the second quarter. The third quarter is expected to be a lot better to set us up for more recovery in 2021. So everybody's going to have their eye out for earnings right now, going into these next couple of weeks. And this silly season, I don't think is going to stop. Even after the election, I think it's still going to go on. So we've got to be cognizant of that. So we'll see. The policy, I think, is going to stay pretty much close to the same. The only thing that we're waiting on is to see if they're ever going to come together on some type of stimulus. But as long as the retail sales numbers are going up, consumer spending numbers are up, they're not in a rush to do a big package. And honestly, it's hard for them to see why a big comprehensive package is needed. So as long as those numbers, and I don't know if those numbers are inflated artificially, who knows? But as long as those numbers are good and they're showing that Americans are coming back, they don't see the need to throw more money at us. They're more focused on like the airlines and those type of businesses that need help being sustained, because they're going to be the last ones to come in. But it's going to be interesting, over this last quarter to see, and this is historic. So, you are trading in historic times right now. So take notes. You can see, going into the close on Friday, the big sell-off, we were doing fine. And we ended up closing red. We did fine all day. And then that big sell-off. And who knows why it sold off. Nobody knows. We can only speculate. We could only speculate. There are people that said it was an options issue. Some people said it was because they came out saying that there will be no deal again. Who knows? But all that matters is that we read the charts and we use our technical analysis and sit back and let the market tell us where to trade and how to trade. As long as we do that, I think we're going to be just fine. So CHWY, this one, I'm ashamed to say that this one was more of a revenge type trade. It was, I'm pissed off that you guys screwed me, so I'm going to short the hell out of you type trade. Even though I'm long, I was long in my swing trade, which I'm still, long, and it never kicked me out. We've already taken profit on it, as a matter of fact. So we're still good in that. But I bought, if you watched the recap the night before, I told you I had bought some CHWY, and I think I bought in my TD Ameritrade account because they had an analyst upgrade. And I was looking for it to gap up, wake up the next morning and it'd be like 75. I had this big idea, again, unrealistic expectations, something that creeps in all the time when you're not looking. But I bought it, but I didn't look at who did the upgrading. And it's a firm new, it's not a new firm, but CHWY was a new customer of this firm, so to speak. And I didn't read all into that. And I was kind of mad at myself. I was kind of mad at everything. So I made a stupid trade here. Even though I'm long in TD Ameritrade, and I'm long in my swing trade, I short this because I'm mad at it. And it bounced. But fortunately for me, which could have been very unfortunate, I had changed the chart, and somebody asked me about another chart, and I was watching it, and I never switched back to CHWY. So I think it was Roku, and it started to turn and sell off. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, we're probably gonna get the move down now, and everything is fine. And then somebody told me that I had the wrong chart up, and that's when we were up here. So I was like, all I can do is, okay, I can withstand this. If it goes over the 69.77, or it takes out the 5-minute open range high, which was higher than that. It was like right up here. Then I'll take it off. I have to eat it, and that'll be that. But it started to sell off. It came all the way back down, and it bailed me out. So I was able to take profit here, and we didn't quite get to my second target, and it ended up taking me out. Or I took it off. I didn't wait for it to get back to break even. And so that was what happened. And that was the only trade I took. I stayed disciplined and didn't chase anything else. Nothing really looked good. The market just kind of did its thing. There were a couple of trades, a couple of stocks that trended all day. But if you didn't catch those early and sit in the trend, I really wasn't chasing anything else. So we finished 356.84 on Friday. Wasn't a banner day. I was really mad at myself again. I was mad at myself for not checking in to the upgrade the night before. And I was mad at myself for taking this trade. So I was doubly mad. And then this is where I closed out the trade on CHWY. This is the one that I took the night before. And you can see pre-market, it kind of ran up. It sold off at the open, and it tried to get back up, and it just would not. It didn't seem like it had enough in it to get to get to 70. So I ended up taking it off at 69.56. I just closed it out, some out there. I took half there, and I was thinking that I could just let the next half run and we would get through 70. We probably wouldn't get 75, but maybe 72. But it just didn't happen. So that's why I didn't take 2/3 off up here. But still a decent overnight trade on 300 shares. It wasn't bad at all. 511.76. And it really should have been a whole lot more than that, but I was just thinking that this thing would recover, and it didn't. And this was a ridiculous candle here. Just ridiculous. But for the sake of the scorecard, this is what goes on my bottom line. Right now I'm still in Speed Trader, and that's what I'm working. But I do plan on switching over to TD Ameritrade for day trading with 0 commissions, because I've got DOS hooked up. And it's official. I paid for the subscription on Friday. I got my new number. Everything's active and ready to go Monday morning. And just like I thought, the price is the same as everybody else. IB, same. The price list we looked at on IB is the exact same one we have on TD Ameritrade. So no difference there. And I was happy to. Before I got off the chat with the lady, I'd already paid and had everything done. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm not sure if I'm going to start first of the year or whether I'm going to just incorporate it into it now. I haven't made that decision yet. But we'll see going forward. MNST, this is the one I closed out on Thursday. It rejected this 84 hard, and that was the level that we pointed out last Sunday that this could be a problem. Some of you took it off early. Some of you actually closed it out on Wednesday when it was coming back. But I waited. On Thursday, it didn't look like it was going to recover, so I went ahead and clipped it. And it's still bleeding out. So only took right at an $800 loss. So not bad. It's just one of those that didn't work. The setup was there, just didn't work. So let's look at, this is where we're at for the week. 15/21/86. And so far this month, we got a good month going. 41.63.61. Remember, I'm not counting these Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. These were really bad days to close out September. We're starting just this month. So if I added these days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from September, we would be somewhere in the 3,000 range. So I'm not really adding. This is just for this month. I'll just keep it, the numbers per month. And look at the equity curve. We are headed in the right direction. But this is what we should be focused on versus the actual numbers. Focused on our equity curve. Looking at it. Stop, girl. Looking at it in terms of, are we headed in the right direction or not? Here is where I realized I had an emotional problem. Here is where I realized I had this was just worn out mentally problem. But this is bad. You can see, you don't see this anywhere on this chart. This an abrupt bad week and then a good week, an abrupt bad week. This is not the best equity curve here, but hey, this is the direction that we want to see it go. And whenever we start to see bad fluctuations and bad choppiness, then that's when we need to start looking deeper within to figure out what's going on. Because most of the time there's going to be something going on in our heads that's messing us up. So that's going to wrap it up for me. You guys have a great rest of the weekend. Look for you members, look for the tweets to come out later on this evening, and the newsletter should come out around the same time, so we could be prepared for Sunday. Also, the video will be posted, so you'll be ready to go for Monday. All right, guys, so enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will catch you in the morning.